Steve King is about as extreme as you can be on the right wing when it comes to women's reproductive rights. He wants women to have effectively no control over their own bodies. And in his attempts, while speaking about this issue, to defend his extreme positions, he can sometimes say some really absurd, insane, and offensive things, as you'll see.
What if we went back through all the family trees and just pulled those people out that were products of rape and incest? Would there be any population of the world left if we did that? Considering all the wars and all the rape and pillage that's taken place and whatever happened in culture after society, I know I can't certify that they're not part of a product of that.
So he appears to be saying that, sure, rape is bad, but we're here.
All right, so let's break this down in 3 different ways. First of all, if you're a politician and you really think rape and incest is not that big a deal and that's how we all got here, I wouldn't say that. No. Okay, not politically savvy to say that. It doesn't mean that there wasn't a horrific rape throughout human history. There was, right? But it's one thing to point that out as horrific. It's another thing to kind of celebrate it. So now, if you're saying, wait, did he really? Think about why he's saying it and what's the context. He was defending his anti-choice legislation votes because in those votes, he says you should not be allowed to get an abortion even if you were raped or the victim of incest. So in this case, he's saying, well, what's the big deal? I mean, we all got here through rape and incest and the whole world is populated through rape and incest. So now you guys are complaining about rape and incest?
Yeah.
Wow, in that context, just when you thought Steve King couldn't get any worse, he found a way to do it. He is ingenious.
I mean, we get even just based in the names that progressives want to move society forward and conservatives are terrified of any change whatsoever. But not thinking that we need to improve on the historic legacy of rape and incest as well. That should be extreme for the Republican Party, but honestly, they're working overtime to catch up to him. Like back in 2017, he wrote the Heartbeat Protection Act, which would ban abortions at the first detection of a heartbeat. That's their thing, I guess. It was considered terribly extreme, crazy extreme, couldn't possibly do it back then. Since then, 4 Republican states have approved legislation of that sort. And so effectively, it would be illegal to have an abortion before you are physically capable of knowing that you're pregnant. That's how extreme he is.
It's not a real heartbeat. It's not a fully formed heart. There is no brain. There is no human there. It's a way of having it be so early that a lot of women don't even know that they're pregnant and then go, ha ha. So now you have no choice, you're not allowed to get an abortion at all, and if you do, we're gonna lock you in prison. Well, Steve King's a racist maniac, so it's not like he proposed that back in 97, he proposed it just a couple of years ago in 2017, and everybody's like, wow, Steve King's extreme. And to John's point now it's totally mainstream. Here we are 2 short years later, and Republican states have passed it. It's in legislation now. So they're getting ready to lock people up over it. It's insanity. And so then Steve King, of course, famously talked about racism in 1,000 different ways. My favorite was the Mexicans who have cantaloupe calves because they drag 75 pounds of marijuana through the desert to get here. He was talking about dreamers who were brought here as kids and babies who didn't. What are you talking about? He hates all Latinos. It's super obvious. You can't populate our civilization with other people's babies. What do you mean other people's babies? Anyway, and then of course the famous line that even got him censured by the Republicans, white nationalists, white supremacists, Western civilization. How did that language become offensive? I mean, white supremacists, he wondered. I mean, how'd that get offensive? I mean, aren't we obviously superior to the lower minority, right? And well, on the other hand, Donald Trump's president.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm glad that you bring up Donald Trump because he never condemned Steve King for what he said there. And so I want to read you something that I saw when he was asked about Steve King. Now, this is before the rape and incest aren't that bad historically argument, but it gives you an idea of what Donald Trump thinks about Steve King. This is after the when did white supremacy become offensive thing. He said that King was a quote, special guy, a smart person with really the right views on almost everything. He said their ideologies are so in sync, we don't have to compare notes. That's after the white supremacy thing, although before the rape thing.
Well, let's break it down. Even after the rape thing, I don't know what Trump would say. I know what Trump has done. A woman just alleged that Trump raped her just a couple of months ago. The allegation was from a couple of months ago. The act was from many years ago. His own wife, his first wife, alleged that he raped her in court documents. She said it. So later she walked it back after getting paid, but it's in the court documents. You can't take it out. You said he raped you physically, violently, dragged you by the hair, ripped your hair out while raping you. That's who the president is, okay? And incest, how many times has he made jokes about how how attracted he is to his daughter, Donald Trump? So, I mean, while Steve King is praising it, Donald Trump might be acting it, at least in the case of the two very significant, credible allegations of rape.
Yeah.
Let alone him bragging about sexual assault that he apparently does regularly. Oh, I grab him by the genitalia, I don't care. I'm so famous, so they let me get away with it. And
that's like Steve King is the guy who says the thing that either Republicans are already thinking or they'll definitely be pushing publicly in 2 years. And that's where, like, he's the guy that said that rape and incest aren't that bad. But virtually all elected Republicans agree with him on the fundamental policy. No exception for rape, no exception for incest, increasingly no exception if you will literally die giving birth or attempting to give birth to your fetus. I mean, like that's their actual position. He's the guy blurting it out in a stupid, idiotic way. But when it comes to the actual effect on women across America, like they're indistinguishable.
Yeah, I mean, we can go on literally for the rest of the 3-hour program listing different cases where Republicans have been in favor or talked positively about rape or actually committed it. So there was obviously Roy Moore, who sexually assaulted many women, including underage women. And the Republican electorate in Alabama said, yeah, he's our guy. He won a primary. He won a primary. They had many other choices who are deeply conservative. They picked a guy who was charged with having these illicit relationships and sexual assaults of underage girls. They're like, yes, winner, okay? It's not like they didn't have any choice. And the list goes on. Todd Aiken saying, well, you can't get pregnant if it's a legitimate rape, and the list goes on. And what the hell is a legitimate rape?
I agree that we could go on, but that would be depressing. I think more productive would be to tell people how they can get Steve King out of a position where he gets to say things like that.
Yes.
And that would be JD Scholten,
yes,
who tweeted to answer Steve King's question, yes, would there be any population yet? Yeah, there still would be. And he says that our congressman continues to push his selfish agenda above the needs of the 4th district. This time he excuses violence. This isn't what we stand for. Help us spread our message of positive change across all 39 counties.
So it's Scholten for Iowa.com, 4 as in the number 4, Scholten for Iowa.com. If you, by the way, the people of that district, if you reelect Steve King, after you know he is clearly a white supremacist and thinks that rape and incest is not that big a deal and that's how we all got here, you own that. You own it. You're saying, I'm proud to have that guy as literally my representative.
Yeah.
He represents me. So have at it, Hoss.
And it even goes a step beyond because, like shockingly, after his white supremacy comments, he lost his committee assignments, which is a good portion of the work that a congressman does, especially if they're in the minority party. He doesn't have those anymore. So if they reelect him, they're saying, we love his rhetoric about rape and incest and white supremacy so much that we're willing to have an effective nobody in office representing us, to actually lose the power and influence that a representative should have. We care about the symbolic stuff that much. Really fast, I just wanna read 2 comments because he lost his committee assignments before. A lot of people are saying that he should either resign or be forced out after this. Bernie Sanders tweeted, Steve King is a racist, a misogynist, and a disgrace to the country. He should not be a member of the United States Congress. I saw comments from, I believe, Julian Castro, Cory Booker, and Kristen Gillibrand all saying that he should resign. And Ilhan Omar, sort of the projection point that you were making, she tweeted, gross, this would explain why those weirdos are fixated on smearing me with claims of incest, projecting their filth unreal.
Yep, whatever the Republicans are thinking, they will accuse liberals of. Yeah. So watch out. All right, look, it's just up to that district. If they keep Steve King, then you really can't say that parts of the country are not racist. No one doesn't know.
Yeah.
2 elections ago, you could have said they don't know. Not all the people in that district know about Steve King. Now they know. Everybody knows. And if you vote for him again, all right, at least you're super clear, and everybody should steer clear of that district because it's littered with racists if they vote for Steve King after all of these quotes have come out.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching this free clip of the Young Turks. Don't forget to become a TYT member today. For more exclusive content, join now at tyt.com/join.